We've seen women come in here. We've seen them walk up the sidewalk, come across the street, and we're watching them, and they're just, they're fine. They're walking in here, and when they walk in the door, they get in our space. I've seen them just like burst into tears, and we're like, what? And they're like, I've been saving it. I've been strong at home. I'm tired. I just have been saving it. And they come in and they feel that here, and they just let down.
Yeah.
And then we're able to put our arms around them and help them and kind of talk through that and get their supplies and such. But it's such a scary time for women, and women are so good about caring for everybody else, and sometimes it's just a little bit of a challenge to let others care for you.
So I was getting ready to say just that we are so good at keeping it together, being the life force for other people, being strong for others. But sometimes it's okay to just be around people, to tend to you, to love on you and show you support. And I think that's one of the valuable things that you provide. A Pink Ribbon Connection. I'm sorry, I'm tearing up as well.
Absolutely. I know, I gotta wait. Yes.
This episode is brought to you by me. Yes, by me, Victoria Odekomaya. I'm a brand photographer and strategist based locally here in Indiana. And I love helping women, small business owners, and professionals with side hustles build and elevate their brand. So if you're in the market and looking for someone that would thoroughly help you create a beautiful imagery for your brand and help you connect to your target audience, I'm your girl. So why choose me? Because I offer a beautiful, luxurious celebrity photo shoot experience for all of my clients. The celebrity experience includes professional hair and makeup, wardrobe styling. I serve wine and chocolate-covered strawberries, and I'm playing your favorite music because it's important to me that you look and feel great to create the images that we know will truly connect with your audience. So what are you waiting for? If you're looking for photography to help you elevate your brand, call on your girl because I got you. Hey friends, it's your girl Victoria Odekomaya. If you're new here, I'm a brand photographer and strategist, and I help female entrepreneurs be seen, known, and heard with my celebrity photoshoot experience and branding strategy so they can build a bankable personal brand. Today, I'm going to be talking with Dori Sparks-Unsworth. She is the executive director of Pink Ribbon Connection, and why that is important is that Pink Ribbon Connection is our organization, a local nonprofit organization that we are supporting this year to help bring awareness to and raise funds for. So if you know me, you know that I love to support a nonprofit organization in all my endeavors. And as part of the Boss Ladies campaign and gala, we've chosen Pink Ribbon Connections to support them. So our goal is to raise $10,000 for Pink Ribbon Connection during the Boss Ladies Gala happening on March 15th, 2024, as well as a portion of the proceeds from all of my photo shoots in 2023 has been going to Pink Ribbon. So I am really excited to talk to Dori today so that you can hear for yourself why it's important and the incredible work that Pink Ribbon is doing to support women that are going through breast cancer here locally in Indiana. So without much ado, let's get into it. Hi, Dori. How are you doing today?
Hi, Victoria. I'm doing just great. Thanks so much for having me.
Look, I am so excited to have you on today. I think it's high time for people to hear about the incredible job that you are doing and with Pink Ribbon Connection and all of that, and just get excited about this gala and everything else. So Dori, before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about you and Pink Ribbon Connection?
Well, certainly. My name is Dori Sparks-Unsworth, and I'm the executive director at Pink Ribbon Connection. I've been here since 2008. They actually hired me as the first paid staff for Pink Ribbon Connection, and it's such a perfect fit. I've been here ever since. So Pink Ribbon Connection is an Indiana not-for-profit that provides free supplies and services to breast cancer patients all over the state.
Wow. You guys do such just the fact that you're local, for me, that's big. And then you're doing stuff for all over the state. And then obviously breast cancer, which is a very sensitive topic that affects a lot of people. So you're the very first paid staff, which is amazing. And I know that sometimes that can be a little challenging for nonprofit organization because there's a lot of need, right? So right. I'm glad that is happening. But before we go into more of the questions that I want to ask you because I'm really excited. I cannot contain myself right now. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that Pink Ribbon do, the specifics of some of the work that you're doing to impact people here in Indiana.
I am happy to do that. So our free supplies consist of free wigs for women as they're going through their chemo and they lose their hair. We have a variety of, cuts and colors and styles. We have free mastectomy bras. So if women end up having to have a mastectomy, then they need both mastectomy bras and prostheses. And so we have those items that are free in this office in all the sizes. So a woman calls us, makes an appointment. She comes in, we help her get fitted. We help her try on her things. And then she gets to leave with 3 free mastectomy bras and prostheses.
Wow.
And then we do post-surgical garments for when women have surgery. They come in and get soft cotton camisoles with drain pockets because after you have a mastectomy, you have drains. And so they have post-surgical garments. They come in and can get those as well. So all those things are free.
Wow. That's a lot. And I don't know if you can place a dollar value on all of that. Can you?
Hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I mean, it's all very expensive. It's very particular equipment and supplies. And not only does it cost a lot of money, but access to those supplies is limited. During COVID, a lot of the smaller boutiques around the state actually closed. So women have trouble even finding these items, let alone being able to access them at no cost. They are very expensive.
Right. And so tell us, why is this important? I know you do such an incredible job giving all of this, but tell us a little bit about why this is important, the mission of Pink Ribbon Connection.
Certainly. Well, in our mission, supplies and services are important because those services include emotional support. And what doctors have figured out now, finally, is that your emotional support really affects your medical outcome. If you don't feel supported, if you don't have a circle of care and love around you, you may not have as good medical outcomes. So we step in and say, if you need support, let us be part of that circle. So women call here to get a peer counselor. And peer counselors are breast cancer survivors who are at least a year out of treatment, who have been trained by Dr. Christine Ward, a psychologist here in Indiana. And they have been trained to become peer counselors, which is essentially a very empathetic listener. So women that are newly diagnosed, they call us. They may never have known anyone who's had breast cancer. They may just feel really isolated and are just really struggling emotionally. So when they call here, we're able to connect them with a peer counselor who will truly understand what they're going through and what kind of emotions they're experiencing. And they're able to support them any length of time during their journey. It's not like it's a one-time or two-time gig. These women frequently form permanent relationships in their life and sometimes end up being best friends because they've just come together during this time of crisis in their life. So we have peer counselors trained all over Indiana. So for instance, if I would get a call from a woman downtown Indianapolis, obviously I can connect her with someone who's a very urban woman in Indianapolis. If I get a call from a farmer's wife in Greensburg, I can also connect her with someone in her county that understands what it means to be in a rural area without access to a lot of services and supplies. And they can really relate and become partners in that journey together. So the peer counselors are wonderful women that have been through it and that want to give back.
I love that.
Yes, they understand the essential nature of emotional support and they want to participate. So we're constantly doing peer counseling training sessions. We're working this year. We're all over the state in regions and we're trying to fill in any gaps so that when someone calls, no matter where they're from in Indiana, I'll be able to connect them with a woman fairly nearby. Being women, sometimes it's nice to see eyeball to eyeball and sit down with coffee and give each other a hug. And that, I think, is really a lovely advantage to having some anonymous national helpline where you never know this person. When you know they live nearby you, you can actually see each other and meet if you decide to do that. I think that's a huge advantage. So
I agree too.
Very important service that we provide as well.
I agree too. I love the fact that you're working with people that have or they're survivors too, and then they're getting trained. So in a way, they're also getting value in that education, but then also helping other women that are going through it. And the fact that they can potentially see each other because they're in the same area, get coffee. Sometimes it's a touch, that goes a long way. And I love that.
Yes. When women come in our office, we try to create this really safe and caring space where by nature, our culture here is one of just great compassion and love and care. And sometimes women try to hold it together at home because they want to be strong for their family, their kids, their husbands. They want to be more strong and not appear so vulnerable. So it's great that they can just let down and say everything they need to say, express all those fears and not worry about it. When you talk to a peer counselor, they've already been through it. They understand what you're feeling. So it's a very different place to be emotionally, to just be open and vulnerable.
Oh,
And
I love that.
we've seen women come in here. We've seen them walk up the sidewalk, come across the street, and we're watching them, and they're just, they're fine. They're walking in here, and when they walk in the door, they get in our space. I've seen them just like burst into tears, and we're like, what? And they're like, I've been saving it. I've been strong at home. I'm tired. I just have been saving it. And they come in and they feel that here, and they just let down.
Yeah.
And then we're able to put our arms around them and help them and kind of talk through that and get their supplies and such. But it's such a scary time for women, and women are so good about caring for everybody else. And sometimes it's just a little bit of a challenge to let others care for you.
But
so
I was getting ready to say just that we are so good at keeping it together, being the life force for other people, being strong for others. But sometimes it's okay to just, be around people, to tend to you, to love on you and show you support. And I think that's one of the valuable things that you provide. A pink ribbon connection. I'm sorry, I'm tearing up as well.
Absolutely. I know, I get away. Yes, absolutely. We know how important it is. And we want to love on those women and just care for them and let them know that this is the time. If there is a time in life when you say, I'm going to let others help me, it is when you're in your breast cancer journey, when you're going through that time. That is the time. Just take a breath and let people show you how much they care.
Right. And so I know that part of your mission is to also support people that are touched by breast cancer. So not just people that are going through it, but maybe some other people around them, to help give them the support they need to support the one that are actually, going through it. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the educational resources you provide?
First of all, we do monthly education sessions here in our office, and those sessions are open to anybody. So frequently the breast cancer patients or survivors will bring family, caregivers, friends with them to those sessions. So they all hear the same information. They can all be part of that discussion. And that's very beneficial for those that are caring for them.
Right.
The other thing is we have patient resource packets that we deliver to hospitals all around the state of Indiana. We deliver about 1,000 of those a year. And those patient resource packets are 13 tab organizers that are just rich with information for breast cancer patients and their caregivers. Those packets are given to hospitals, and then the hospitals give them to the newly diagnosed breast cancer patients. And that is the main way people learn about us at Pink Ribbon Connection, are those patient resource packets. So in those packets, there is a resource guide. And what we did to create that guide is we listened to phone calls that were repetitive. So we got the same questions over and over and over. And we said, okay, clearly this is a question that permeates this population. What can we do to address it? And so in that patient resource packet, for instance, there is a page that says how to talk to your family and friends about your disease. And the reason for that is people would call us and they would say, so exactly how do you begin this conversation to tell my loved ones about my cancer? So we have a page that talks about that. We have a page that talks about age-appropriate information to share with your children. Based on how old your kids are, you're going to have a very different conversation. And so we just have some general tips about age categories for how to talk to your children. So those are just a few examples of how we not only touch the patient, but the patient's caregivers and circle as well.
Oh my God, that is so powerful, because the way you talk to children of different ages is going to be very, very different. So I don't think I've not shared this with you. No, have I shared with a lot of people? But I turned 40 late last year, and that means I can get my mammogram every year as well.
Yes.
So I went in for my first mammogram, and they called me back because they wanted to do a second look and everything like that. And Dori, I'll tell you that was the scariest call,
Yes.
And even though the lady told me it's okay, this is, this happens all the time, but it's still scary to hear that or to have that call back, So I can only imagine, and my second ultrasound is, coming up soon. And so I don't have any information yet, but I can just imagine as someone that is waiting, to hear back or just having a call back, let alone someone that's heard the news, let alone their family members, let alone what, their friends and family. So one of the questions I want to ask you again now is like, what are some of the fears or the scariest things that you've heard, people that are, that have this disease would talk about? What are some of the things that you hear them and maybe even help them walk through?
Well, not surprisingly, the biggest fear when you hear you have cancer is, am I going to be around to raise my children? Am I going to live? And so that's the first and foremost. And no matter what kind of cancer you have and no matter what stage it's in, you can't help but that it comes into your head automatically. And so what we're happy to say is that survivorship is at an all-time high in this country. There are more breast cancer survivors living longer than there have ever been. And so, medical progress is a wonderful thing, and it continues to be made. And so that's the first thing, is that it is no longer a death sentence. It absolutely is not. Even women with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer are living so long that we this past year have created a very separate metastatic peer counseling program, because those women are living so long. They need their own set of peer counselors who are also metastatic, who understand what it is to wake up every morning and no, I'm not going to get rid of this disease. I'm not going to be cured of this disease, but I am living with this disease. So those are all very, very good pieces of news for us to share with women who have been diagnosed. So that's one fear, the first fear, because it just happens automatically. The other, being women, losing your breasts, no surprise in this society, breasts are famous for all the wrong reasons, right? Absolutely. Famous for all the wrong reasons. And so women just struggle with losing such an important part of their anatomy. It's just, my brother had his leg amputated, and he said, I think I can understand a little bit more now about the women you work with, because when you lose a part of yourself, there's just a little piece of you that you don't get back. And so women are just afraid of their appearance. It's not about vanity. It's about feeling whole.
Right.
And so the other thing is hair. You just don't realize how important your hair is to your identity, to who you are. You look in the mirror every day. And so, we have so many women cry when they come in bald and they put on that wig because they just didn't know how excruciating it would be for them to be bald.
Right.
They didn't know it would be cold. They've lost so much of themselves. And so we have a lot of wigs here, and we get more all the time. And we will work and try on wigs until you find one that you feel good in. And that may look like your hair used to look. It may look entirely different. You may say, and we encourage women about this, you may say, I am never going to wear a wig again in my life once I get through this, so I may as well have some fun. So they say, let's have one platinum blonde and one jet black, and that's fine. That is just fine, because first of all, we have those wigs. And secondly, it's your time. Whatever is going to get you through this and make you feel okay, that's what we want to give you. And so, we have beautiful head scarves, and, we try them on the women, and they're like, oh, how should we tie this? And they just look so beautiful. The women we work with are so beautiful, so beautiful. But their fears are, how am I going to be looked at? When I walk down the street, I don't want everybody to look at me and the first thing they think is, oh, there's a cancer patient. That is no way to live. And so the wigs are important because they will let you blend in a society and not stand out and have people immediately feel sympathy for you. And that's very important.
It is.
Very important. You're going to get your care and your sympathy and empathy from those around you, but you don't need it from the general population. You need to live your life. You're not just a cancer patient. You're still a mom or a wife or a daughter or, a teacher or a policewoman or whatever those is. You're still all those things when you're going through breast cancer. And so let us help you feel normal as you can when you go out there in the world and live your life every day. So those are the big fears: appearance, mortality, just what you would expect.
Right. I love all the work that you're doing and just how you articulated that. I want to touch on a little bit about your gala. So you have this huge fashion show, which we did in October last year. And I think you do that every year, right?
We do. Yes.
And one of the things that struck me, because that was my first time being a part of that, I had the awesome privilege, which I'm so thankful for you, to photograph that event and, do some of that work for the models as well as the actual event. I think that one of the things that struck me was just the survivors and the number of years that they've survived and multiple times, right? And just that was so encouraging. So when you were talking a little bit about how it's no longer a death sentence, like that just sunk in, like that made a lot more sense.
Yes, it's a reality. So the fashion show this year is actually the 30th anniversary of the Stars of Pink Breast Cancer Survivor Fashion Show. It's going to be a big show, biggest show ever. So this show is a breast cancer survivor fashion show. It's our main fundraiser for the year. We're trying to to get 1,000 people in the ballroom at the Indianapolis downtown Marriott. We've held ticket prices level at $100 still because we don't want to raise prices right now in this kind of iffy economy. But we hope by keeping those prices stationary and just being able to raise our attendance that we'll be able to make the most money we ever have. So people can actually get their tickets now. They can go on our website at pinkribbonconnection.org and go ahead and get their tickets for the fashion show. The women on the runway are glowing. Victoria, you did such an amazing job of photographing them and capturing their essence and their glow and their inner vitality. I mean, they are shining when they walk that runway. It's their moment.
Yes. It was so amazing.
They are survivors and thrivers in every sense of the word. You're right. Barbara Boyd is a local media star that has been a broadcaster most of her life. She is a 49-year breast cancer survivor. Woo! I mean, if that doesn't give you encouragement, I don't know what is. And part of the reason we have this show and these women walk this runway is all those people in the audience that are touched by breast cancer. We want them to have that hope and that encouragement. Right. That you probably felt this, but I feel like that room, there is a palpable energy of positivity. I mean, people are there to celebrate survivorship and celebrate the thrivers on that runway. And it touches those people that come to that show for the first time. They may have recently been diagnosed, or they may come with their family members that are recently diagnosed. There is just an inherent hope from hearing those stories of survivorship. And what sets this fashion show apart is, although the fashions are gorgeous, we don't talk about the fashions. This fashion show, we talk about the personal stories of the survivors. Right. Those personal stories are their struggles, their triumphs, their funny moments, how they found their breast cancer. It is their story. And that is read as each of those models walk that runway. We hear their personal story. And that is what makes this the most just powerful and poignant fundraiser. It's just incredible.
I love it. I love that you've put an element of the fashion, and then that was such a great combination, and just to help them be beautiful and feel amazing and inspire people in all of that was just so, for me, I was so inspired. The room was electrifying. Just to hear the stories and everything was so amazing. It was so amazing. So I know we're also doing a gala, but before I get into that, I want to talk about what are some of your greatest needs right now. So for anyone listening or wanting to participate in the gala, either our gala or your gala coming up in October, like what are some of the things that are your most pressing needs right now?
Okay. All right. So this year we have bras and breakfast events around the state, and bras and breakfast events are a Saturday morning from 9 to 11, where women from that region can come to the location and get 3 free mastectomy bras. There are people there to help them try on. There are breakfasts provided. And so they get a lovely meal, and then they get to sit after they get their bras, they sit around and chat with each other. And it really becomes a time of kind of a pseudo support group is what happens at these bras and breakfast events. But we want to make sure we get out in the community as well as serve people in this central Indiana region in Indianapolis. So we're going to have one in Anderson for Northside people. We're having one in Seymour, which is in Jackson County, which is southern. We're having one in New Albany, which is all the way down at the bottom of Indiana along the Ohio River. And then in Indianapolis, we have one for Spanish speakers that we will have interpreters here that day. And the women who don't speak English are able to come get their needs met and talk with someone who is fluent in their language. And that is a big deal. Yes. And then we have one that we're going to work with Franciscan Hospital and Little Red Door and have one on site at 18th and Meridian that's specifically for Black women. Black women have a higher mortality rate than white women with breast cancer. And nobody really knows why yet, but we want to be really intentional about serving Black women and helping them connect with others and have their needs met. So we have several bras and breakfast events this year. And then we have some here that are just for, anybody who can get to Indianapolis and wants to come. So what that means is I need mastectomy bras. Mastectomy bras are very expensive, $50 to $75 usually for mastectomy bras. And they're going to take away 3 of them. Because I'm traveling the state and doing so many of those, I need either funds to buy mastectomy bras. I need people to donate mastectomy bras. If anybody has connections with bra manufacturers, I need to work with them about getting those connections made so that perhaps we could get, last year's models donated or something like that. So the actual mastectomy bras are a huge need because of the number I will give away. I will give away hundreds of mastectomy bras this year.
Right. So and then the wigs as well. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. What
no, I just wanted, so that was the one thing, the mastectomy bra.
That's like the biggest thing that I'm afraid I can't run out of, and I'm afraid I'm going to. So that's my biggest fear on that. So at this office, we always collect new or gently used wigs, post-surgical garments, bras, prostheses. Women can give us any of those things. Frequently, a woman might wear a post-surgical garment for a day or two, period. And so we always tell people that what we give, they're all pristine items, but they're either new or gently used. Right. So we get many, many of our supplies from women who want to give back to this population. And the way they do that is by giving things that either they've had that they haven't used or that they've used very gently. So those donations are very welcome here at our office in Fountain Square.
That's amazing. I was going to ask about the location too, but we'll put all of that in the comments so that people can, know how to get in touch with you.
Yes.
But those are the two biggest needs right now, the mastectomy bra and as well as wigs and other gently used
post-surgical garments. Yes.
Now, I want to talk about our gala. So Boss Ladies Gala is coming up on March 15th, 2024, and it is our desire to help raise $10,000 to support Pink Ribbon Connection.
That's I'll tell you, huge. We're so excited about that.
And thank you so much, because so here's the thing. I typically pick an organization every year. And one of the things that drew me to your organization, remember when I visited your office, it was so welcoming. I saw all of the work that you do. I saw the bras, I saw the wigs, I saw the pictures of women that you've helped out. I remember you telling me that you were getting ready to do a volunteer event the following week and you were looking for volunteers to come help. And I was like, wow, so for me, it was also a reality check, because sometimes when we're so removed from things that are happening in our community, like you feel like you don't, you're so removed in a way, like we don't understand, we don't see, right? So just coming to your office and seeing all the amazing work that you did for me just kind of sealed it. So, and I'm so thankful, I'm grateful for just allowing me to be a part of some of the work that you're doing since last year. I know that, like I told you, all of the, I'm donating a portion of my photo shoot proceeds to support your organization. But this is a big, this is the capstone, if you will, the gala. And, we did it the previous year when we raised $10,000 for Pink Ribbon. So for Dove Recovery House. So I am very confident that we will do it again. Ticket sales are looking good, and people are, showing up to donate items for auctions. And so one of the things that I wanted to I want people to pay attention to is that every amount of auction items that is donated, a portion of the tickets and everything that we do on that night would go to supporting women, just exactly as Dori has mentioned here. Well, because we can see where the money is going. Like we're going to write the check directly to you, to your organization. And people are actually welcome to continue to, be a part of it, like volunteer, because I know you do, events and things like that. So I am so thankful. I am so grateful. I know that this is a situation, a disease that affects a lot of people. And so I am so thankful that your organization exists to help people in such incredible manner.
Well, and one thing, so we're a small not-for-profit that does a lot of work, right? We do big work, but we do it with few people. So I'm the only full-time staff. So when people are thinking about not-for-profits to give to, it's important for me that they know a couple of things. Every penny stays in Indiana. It doesn't go anywhere else. It stays right here in your backyard. Our overhead is just as low as we can get it. We have one full-time staff and one half-time office manager. Brenda Beard is our office manager. She is a young survivor herself. She is a marvelous office manager and a wonderful help. But that's our overhead. We have a small office in Fountain Square. We have free parking. We're on the first floor so that women who can't negotiate stairs can come right in off the sidewalk and come right into our office. We've tried to consider everything. But when you're thinking about giving $10,000 that you're going to raise for us, which we couldn't be more grateful, that is a gift beyond measure when you're a small not-for-profit trying to help as many women as possible in your state. So we are thrilled and really excited about this gala coming up. We're going to be there. We've talked with everybody about it. It's going to be great. But that $10,000, it's life-changing for the women we serve. And I want people to know that.
Yes, thank you. Because and just to buttress your points, majority of everyone that was at the gala, the Pink Ribbon fashion show last year, including the coordinator, the lady that was helping, I forgot her name just a moment. It's just escaped my mind.
Natalie? Was it Natalie?
Natalie, yes, Natalie Fuller. And I apologize.
Yes.
Like volunteers. Oh my goodness.
Yes, they're all volunteers. Yes. Wonderful people. Thank God for them. But that's because we want to stretch those dollars, them just as far as we can to serve just as many women as we can.
And that's what I was trying to get to too. Like you use a lot of volunteers and people, volunteer their time. So beyond the money, although obviously the money goes a long way because there's a lot of needs, a lot of supplies that needs to be bought. But if you have time, please consider volunteering too, because I know Pink Ribbon Connection needs a lot of volunteers. So that's
all those bras and breakfast. We need lots of volunteers that day to help women try on their items. We have educational sessions here where sometimes last night we had a session and we made dinner for everybody. So I had some people come in and help make dinner. We have a freezer with we try to keep frozen meals so that if a woman is very sick going through chemo or something and we meet her and she says, I'm having trouble standing up at my stove. I'm so weak and I'm having trouble feeding my children. We're able to say, can we send you home some freezer meals? So I have a couple of groups women that come in once a month and replenish our freezer meals. They are here in our kitchen. They'll make soup or casseroles or something that we can send home with women that are not feeling well. So our supplies, they always need organizing and restocking. And so there are so many different ways that volunteers can help us. So yes, I love that plug, Victoria. Thank you. And we would love to hear from women who want to assist with this project. Absolutely. We have lots of things going on.
Right. And I am so grateful for all of the work that you do. Like even just touching on the food again, like it's so incredibly important for women because we're caregivers naturally. And knowing that you're going through you're so weak and you can't provide for your family, that's hard to, heartbreaking. So thank you again for coming on. This has been such an emotional conversation, but a very well needed, much needed one. I'm hoping and praying that, people turn up and come help us support you for the gala on March 15 and also get tickets for the October 30th anniversary for
30th anniversary. Yes. Stars of Pink Breast Cancer Survivor Fashion Show. Yes.
Stars of Pink. And so I'm so excited about all the amazing work that you're doing, that you will continue to do, and the lives that you're touching, because you are really touching the lives of people.
Thank you, Victoria. This was a great opportunity to share our work and our stories with your followers. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I am going to put all the links on how to contact, how to purchase the tickets, either the gala, the Boss Ladies Gala, or the Stars of Pink's fashion show in the comments below. Please come through, come support. We need your help, both financially or your time. And we know that, like God will bless you for just spending your time and giving back. It means a lot and it goes a long way here locally too. So we are touching lives of people here that we know and can actually touch or feel. And thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate this. And until next time, just stay tuned. Make sure that you are, owning your brand, doing everything that you can to set yourself apart, but also to give back to to our nonprofit organization, to our community, because it goes a long way.
Thank you.